Hello, my name is Kort Weldon. Today I will be discussing the Leadership Challenge and how using the principles discussed in this PowerPoint are an effective way to grow your skills as a leader. This short video clip portrays an effective leader in action. The reason I chose that video in particular, aside from the fact that it's kind of funny, is that it plays into what this book talks about. And this book influences that by applying the 5 principles of leadership, anyone can become an influential leader in some way. Throughout this presentation, we will explore the messages of this book as a whole and how it can effectively be used to develop leadership skills in even the smallest of leaders. Written by James Kouzes and Barry Posner in 2007, the Leadership Challenge encourages readers that anyone can become a leader by understanding and utilizing the following 3 principles. The 5 practices of exemplary leadership, credibility is the foundation of leadership, and leadership is for everyone. James Kouzes is the Dean's Executive Professor of Leadership at Levy School of Business and Santa Clara University, and Barry Posner is the dean of the school that he goes to as well. He also is a professor, but his main job is the dean of that school. They've written several leadership books together and have developed the highly acclaimed Leadership Practices Inventory. At this point, we will discuss the 5 practices of exemplary leadership and what each entails. In order, the 5 practices of exemplary leadership are: model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. I will now break down each of the 5 practices and explain why they are so important to the message of the book. Model the way. The first step in modeling the way is to clarify your values. As a leader, it's important that you find your voice. What do you represent and why is it important? Once you achieve that, it's time to set the example. Modeling the way is about earning the right and the respect to lead through direct involvement in action. People follow first the person and then the plan. Inspire a shared vision. Every organization, every social movement begins with a dream. The dream or vision is the force that invents the future. Leaders inspire a shared vision. Leaders have a desire to make something happen, to change the way things are, to create something that no one else has ever created before. Once the vision is in place, leaders must then enlist others in a common vision. To do this, leaders must have an intimate knowledge of the people's dreams, hopes, aspirations, visions, and values. If the vision is important to both you and your followers, something great is bound to happen. Challenge the process. Leaders are pioneers. They are willing to step out into the unknown. They search for opportunities to innovate, grow, and improve. Leaders are consistently on the lookout for things outside of themselves and their organizations for new and innovative products, processes, and services. By doing this, it takes experimentation and risk. With this comes the possibility of failure, but it also has the potential for success. Leaders have to be willing to learn from their failures as well as their successes and make it possible for others to do the same. Enable others to act. To get extraordinary things done in organizations, leaders have to enable others to act. This means that it's important to engage everyone who must make the project work, and in some way, all who must live with the results, thus fostering collaboration. Creating an atmosphere of ownership to everyone involved makes the work much easier. When a leader makes people feel strong and capable, as if they can do more than they ever thought possible. They'll give it their all and exceed their own expectations. Encourage the heart. Genuine acts of caring, uplifting spirits, and drawing people forward. Recognizing contributions can be one-to-one or with many people. It also comes from a dramatic gesture or simple actions. It's part of the leader's job to show appreciation for people's contribution and to create a culture of celebrating values and victories. Encouragement shouldn't be pretentious, but instead should be visibly and behaviorally linked towards rewards and performance. The remainder of the book focuses on how credibility is essential to becoming an effective leader and that anyone has the potential to lead. This quote from Carrie Gilstrap emphasizes that leadership is in the eyes of other people. It's they who proclaim you as a leader. What people look for in a leader has been constant over time. For people to follow someone willingly, the majority of constituents believe that a leader must be honest, forward-looking, inspiring, and competent. As you can tell, the 5 practices of exemplary leadership we just discussed and the behaviors people most look for in leaders are complementary to one another. Above all else, people must be able to believe in their leaders. That being said, the reason credibility is so important to leadership is this: if you don't believe the messenger, you won't believe the message. The final point the leadership challenge that Kouzes and Posner choose to emphasize on is that leadership is everyone's business. This quote from Tara Church puts that into perspective. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't make a difference. If we all work on our little parts of the planet, we will change the world. It's just a pure myth that only a lucky few can ever understand the intricacies of leadership. The truth is that leadership is an observable set of skills and abilities that can be learned. The leaders who have the most influence on people are those who are the closest to them. You have to challenge the myth that leadership is about position and power. Person to person and over time, leaders do make a difference. As you can see, by appropriately applying the 5 principles of a leadership, anyone can, in theory, become an influential leader in some way. An overview of this book includes the 5 practices of exemplary leadership, which are model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, encouraging the heart, and the credibility is the foundation of leadership, and leadership is everyone's business. For my critical analysis of this book, I do feel for the most part that the direction the book took was instructional to people who weren't necessarily comfortable with leadership, but it also made some valid points about what leadership was. All of the sources used throughout the book were from leaders in their field, and most of the quotes came from CEOs and department chairs and people who actually had used leadership throughout their careers. I do feel that this book confirmed a lot of ideas used in this class and probably would be one that would be influential and might be useful in the future if it's something that you looked at. Some of the strengths in this book included a strong emphasis on research and explanation of points and ideas. Also, it was fairly easy to read. There weren't too many vocabulary things that tripped me up or anything like that. It was just an easy read. Some of the weaknesses, I thought it could have focused more on people who become leaders without the 5 principles. Not that it was a bad thing, just I think that they could have kind of spoke on that for a little bit and just kind of moved on. In conclusion, I do feel that people working with leaders who demonstrate the 5 practices of exemplary leadership are more likely to be satisfied with the actions and strategies of their leaders. By modeling the way, inspiring a shared vision, challenging the process, enabling others to act, and encouraging the heart, you show as a leader that you care for those you lead. In return, you become effective in a leadership position, and this allows for positive interaction with those who follow you. Hopefully, through this presentation, you have a better understanding of the leadership challenge written by James Kouzes and Barry Posner. In closing, I leave you with this quote by Alan Keith. Leadership is ultimately about creating a way for people to contribute to making something extraordinary happen. Thank you.